Good evening. I'm talking to you about the war between Israel and Hamas. First, first of all, I think that what happened in October 7 equivalent what happened in September 11. The September 11 attack was against the United States and Western civilization to shatter America's image as a hyperpower. What happened in October 7 was directed against Israel and the Jewish people to shatter Israel's security as a first step to its eradication. Israel is currently in danger, and the Western world must stand with Israel and help Israel to eliminate Hamas. Israel war against Hamas on behalf of the free world. Who is Hamas? Hamas is a terrorist organization, is an Islamic mafia. Hamas, much like ISIS, Hezbollah, and Boko Haram, is an ideological terrorist organization. They are death cults. The Hamas Charter is currently the most anti-Semitic document in the world. The Hamas Charter calls for the eradication of Israel. The Hamas Charter mentions that God promised Muslims to kill all Jews across the world. The Hamas Charter considers the war with Israel is to be an existential zero-sum war. The Hamas Charter calls for religious war between Islam and Judaism through Islamic Jihad. The Hamas Charter calls to liberate Palestine from the sea to the river means no Israel. Hamas currently considered as existential threat to Israel, and the only valid solution is to eliminate it. There is no difference between bin Laden's speech, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi's speech, and Abu Ubaida's speech, the spokesperson of Hamas, for Hamas. They are all messages of death. What Hamas did in Gaza from 2007 till now is dystopian. Hamas destroyed all chances for peace from 2007 till now. Hamas goals clearly to destroy Israel, eliminate Israel, remove Israel, wipe out Israel. Arabs and Hamas, Arabs in the Hamas. The Arab world defines the term occupation, occupied land, in a way that differs from how it used or defined by international resolution or international community. International law defines occupation in this conflict is a dispute over lands in the West Bank and East Jerusalem. Arab, on the other hand, looks at the existence of Israel as a whole, as a form of occupation. On October 7, joy swept the streets and social media on the Arab world. Praise for Hamas was widespread with phrases like Hamas is our pride, Hamas honors us, Hamas represented us. Al-Azhar Institute itself said that what Hamas did on October 7 revived us after we have been long dead. Israel is rarely referred as the state of Israel in the Arab media. They mostly call it so-called Israel, the Zionist entity. So the reactions of the Arab street in support Hamas did not surprise me. But I felt sorry that Cairo Conference for Peace last week refused to condemn Hamas. I consider this is the first war between Hamas and Iran, and support Hamas means support Iran. Thousands of Hamas members trained in Iran, and 90% of Hamas budget came from Iran. What about Erdogan and Hamas? Erdogan is a long-time member of the Muslim Brotherhood and considers himself the head of the international organization of the Brotherhood. And the Hamas charter said that Hamas is the military arm of the Muslim Brotherhood organization. So this is the relation between Hamas and Erdogan. One of the Islamic leaders wrote, "We met Erdogan in 2005 and asked him clearly, what would you like to be, the head of the Islamic world or the tail of Europe?" He immediately answered, the head of the Islamic world. Erdogan, like Khamenei, wants to penetrate the Arab world through Palestinian cause. And Turkey competes with Iran in the control of the Arab countries. Erdogan wants Turkey to lead the Islamic world instead of Saudi Arabia. Demonstrations in the West. Most protests that were held in the West were led by some of the far left alongside Islamists. Some protests called for holy jihad against the Jewish people. In London, 100,000 demonstrators called for jihad in Gaza. In Sydney, they called Gaza the Jews. There is a new and significant wave of anti-Semitism in universities and social media in the United States and Europe. Hamas is designated as a terrorist organization in the United States and Europe. Therefore, dealing with any kind of supporting Hamas is considered a violation of American law. Some key notes. Identifying civilians in Gaza is very tricky because Hamas member is between civilians and operate from tunnels located under buildings, hospitals, churches, mosques, and schools. Those who criticize Israel should try to answer these questions. What if your own country were attacked the way Israel was attacked on October 7? Hamas bears the responsibility for killing civilians because it uses them as human shields to protect its members and weapons. The Palestinian-Israel conflict is the most complex conflict in the history because it is a religious, historical, and political conflict all in one. The slogan, Jerusalem in ours, or Al-Quds lana, which is often repeated in the Arab media is about taking control of historical Jerusalem and restricting access to Jewish and Christian holy places. The numbers of civil wars victims in Arab countries since 1948 and to date is about 100 times greater than total number of victims of the Arab-Israel wars for the same time period. Almost 50,000 children were killed in Arab civil wars in the last 10 years, especially in Syria and Yemen, but you wouldn't know about that because Arab media outlets are totally focused in Jeddah. Finally, I feel sorry for what happened. Sorry and sad. I feel sorry and sad for what happened on October 7 and for the human collateral damage in Gaza. Thank you.